His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Mohammed Al-Raisi, Director General of the National Archives, Mr. David Fricker, Director General of the National Archive of Australia and the President of the International Council on Archives. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to extend our warmest welcome to all of you as we meet today at the National Archives to celebrate the signing of the MOU between the National Archives of the UAE and the International Council on Archives regarding the hosting of the ICA Congress 2020 by the UAE. Let me invite His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Al-Raisi to talk about the future prospects of this agreement.
Dr. David Fricker, President of ICA, Ms. Kim Debenham, Deputy Head of Mission, Australian Embassy in UAE, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and honor to launch here or to sign the MOU for the hosting the ICA 2020 Congress in Abu Dhabi. And I think, David, this is the first time that you see that ICA is signing the MOU for any Congress within a span of less than 2 months from the last Congress. This is very exciting time for all of us here, and especially for UAE, because in 2020 there is another great event happening in Dubai, Expo 2020. So this Congress really will help in bringing in more visitors to Expo 2020. And all those colleagues in archives internationally to explore how far we went with archiving business in UAE from 1968, since the establishment of the archives, this archives in UAE, which was called the Center for Documentation and Research, and went through tremendous changes since then, since it was established in 68 by His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Giant is looking at me, don't say His Highness, Sheikh Zayed. Sorry, I got it wrong. When we thought about hosting 2020, it was not just last year or year before. It was in the back of my mind in 2004 exactly. But prior to that, we said that we should experience hosting CTRAP, which we did in 2005, and it was very successful, which encouraged us more to even host 2020. And with the leadership of David Fricker and his close relationship with the UAE National Archives, and also Memory of the World, as he is also Deputy Chairman of the Memory of the World program, and we are working in harmony, and I think this is a unique relationship between us and Dr. David, who also helped us a lot in achieving and reaching this goal to hosting 2020 Congress in Abu Dhabi. Yesterday we had a very fruitful meeting. Today we continued and will continue. And tomorrow also we will have another good day, and the day after, before he leaves. There are so many things happening around Memory of the World and archives in general. There are so many projects, very ambitious ones, electronic within Persist project, with other projects also, with the International Olympic Committee also. So there is a big discussion here. So we are getting more involved in many organizations. Soon all other stakeholders will be joining us in the digital archiving and digital move within Persist, which is part of Memory of the World program. So all in all, good things happening for everybody around the world. And I would like also to thank the Executive Board of ICA, all the ICA family, who entrusted us to be the host for 2020 Congress. And I will say nothing but full commitment from the board of the National Archives, chaired by His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Deputy Prime Minister of UAE, Minister of Presidential Affairs, and Chairman of the National Archives of UAE. His full support, which has been sent to David before the Congress in Seoul, and his follow-up and guidance for the steps forward with this Congress. There will be many activities leading to 2020 and our participation in many ICA workshops, congresses, and also we have dedicated 3 of our good staffs to be working closely with ICA in their meetings, executive board or PCOM or other sections of ICA. So you will be, David, assured and informed of every step we will be taking. And today, for the first time, ICA will be hosting its flag in any national archives after being awarded the Congress. And this is a new trend in ICA. I thank Dr. Ian Wilson for this, because I think it was his idea to hoist the flag outside the National Archives. The flag will be there. In fact, we started this trend earlier because the ICA flag is there since long time, for many years, I think since 2005. But it will be there even after the Congress 2020. But today we will show the world that we are ready from now to be hosting this prestigious event. And we are not aiming at 2,000 to 3,000 participants, but we are aiming at 5,000 plus. That's why we have to do the marketing and the promotion all over the world. You will see us in IFLA, you will see us in ICA, you will see us in all related organizations and partners, stakeholders, before we reach November 15. This is the 15 to 22. This is the initial dates that we booked with Abu Dhabi Exhibition Center. So exactly 4 years from today, hope we are all alive till then. I'm not talking about the young ones. I'm talking like us who are reaching that critical age. But as we say, inshallah, we all will be witnessing this unique event, and David will assure you that you will see nothing but success, and it will be a historic event, as we did in Sitra 2005. We are all excited here. You see, we have more ladies in this organization than men. It is obvious from the attendance here. And that is another success of UAE, because in UAE we have a huge support for women in UAE, and if you see, the majority of employees in the government are women. We have lots of ministers in the parliament, so they are very dangerous. They have a real challenge to men here in UAE. And we are proud of that, because they have a crucial role not only at home but also at workplace. So it is a very unique time, exciting time for all of us as we are approaching the UAE National Day, December 2nd. We'll have another conference, David, for UNESCO. It's taking place here between 1st and 3rd December next month. And we will be an integral part of that conference which will have a great impact on the archives, libraries, and memory of the world in general. Finally, I would like to thank all of you for your attendance, and I will give the floor now to Dr. David Fricker to give us some of the information on ICA and Congress in particular. And I know you have to listen to Dr. David carefully. He has tons of information within 15 minutes. So you have to pay careful attention to his speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullah. May I also welcome Deputy Ambassador Kim Debenham, representing the Ambassador for Australia here in the UAE. It's a great pleasure to have you here with us to share this celebration. And as Dr. Abdullah said, it's my great pleasure to be here today, of course, for this historic signing of our Memorandum of Understanding as we take this first formal step to what is going to be the most exciting event in the history of the International Council on Archives, and to take this opportunity just to talk to you all about what the ICA is, to talk about what our priorities are and our ambitions are, and give you a sense of the importance and the challenges that we are going to be facing head-on when the world comes together here in Abu Dhabi in November in 2020. And so let me begin. First of all, what is the ICA? The ICA is the International Professional Network for Archives and Records Management. It is the only global professional network for our profession. With 1,400 members from 190 countries and jurisdictions around the world, it's a neutral, it's a non-government organisation, so it is just about ideas and it's about developing that professionalism, professional intelligence and knowledge among our community. And as I say, it's global. It reaches right around the world. What unites us as a profession to achieve the ideals that we all strive to achieve. The vision of the ICA, as you can see up here, is to be influential. Because what we need to do is to make sure that the knowledge and the expertise and the treasures that we have in our archives are brought to bear to influence key decision makers and the general public to understand the value of archives. And as they're in red, you can see that records and archives contribute to good governance, to have a properly run government and nation and country. It helps uphold the rule of law in a community. And of course it has transparency so people can see what is going on in their community. And from a cultural heritage point of view, archives is where we preserve the collective memory of humanity, and most importantly, it's how we make it accessible to citizens around the world. So this is the role of the ICA, is to make sure that we are raising awareness and understanding and appreciation of what we do, and to make sure we are doing everything we can to service the community and the governments that we serve. Now, the way that we go around doing this is twofold. We have an inward and we have an outward focus. Inwardly, of course, we run a network of professions and we're all contributing to each other's professional development. And from an outward point of view, advocacy. We're driving good policy decisions, we're driving good ideas in the broader community. We're talking to communities outside of the archives and records management field to make sure that the communities we serve are getting the very best from us and the very best from the collections that we have in our care. And of course, that bottom right-hand corner over there is service. It's all about the value we provide to our communities. We don't do the work we do for our own satisfaction. We do it to uphold the values of our communities and to make sure that our citizens are getting the very best value from the cultural heritage in our care. The way we operate with the ICA, we have several organisations within the ICA. Running our activities, coordinating the work that we do, is the Program Commission. And I'm so delighted that Mr. Hamad Al-Mutairi is also now a member of our Program Commission. So right here in the UAE, we have another influential member of this community who has joined this Program Commission to drive the change that we need to drive across the organisation. We also have a forum of national archives. So the national archivists from around the world have this unique network to get together and discuss matters of critical and strategic importance to national archives. And of course, Dr. Abdullah is a member of that Forum of National Archives and is a leader among that group, driving that change, sharing knowledge and understanding. I said that the ICA is the only global network. We have 13 regional branches, so wherever you are in the world, there is a branch of the ICA that is delivering the membership benefits to you and making you connected to what we're doing. We have sections of expert groups looking at particular areas of archives or particular areas of archival science and technology, etc. And finally, up there, we have the Fund for the International Development of Archives, because part of what the ICA does is to help those archives, those institutions in low-resourced countries without the resources of their own, and we give them a bit of assistance, a help up to do the work that they can do. And Dr. Ian Wilson here is a trustee on the board of the FIDA, of the Fund for Development of Archives. So here again, the UAE is already doing so much to assist our global community of archives and records management. And all of these activities and those groups come under the management of the Executive Board. And of course, here again, His Excellency, Mr. Majid Al-Makhiri, is just joined the Executive Board as a part of the announcements that we're signing today. And we welcome Mr. Majid's strategic leadership and contributions that you are going to make as we take the ICA into the future. So another big tick, Dr. Abdullah. More and more of your resources are coming into the ICA management. And really, it's all part of this wonderful, generous gift that you are giving through the ICA to the world to make sure that the cultural heritage of mankind is serving the needs of all people. And the Executive Board is supported by a secretariat with an office based in Paris. So now let me briefly go through the three high-level priorities of the ICA, what we're doing. Number one, repositioning archives as essential. Because so often in our profession we talk to one another, but we're not talking to the rest of the world, we're not talking to the other communities to make sure that everyone appreciates what we can offer. We can offer so much to help good governance. We can offer so much to advocate the importance of archives to modern society. And we can offer so much through the partnerships that we form outside the archives community. A few of them I've listed there. The Open Government Partnership to make sure that the records that we have are freely available to the people so that they can use them for creative pursuits, for historical research, and to understand their own identity and their own nation, their own culture. We partner with the World Bank and UNESCO, a very important partner in UNESCO, which I'll talk about in just one moment. The second objective we have is to influence the development and use of new technologies. Very important. And where else but here in the UAE can I be talking about the power, the impact that technology can have? The work that you do here, to not ask every citizen to come and visit your building, to connect with their archives. But what you're doing here is you're using technology to take the archives to the people. Wherever the people are, on their handheld devices, on their computers, they're opening up the collections that you hold. They're experiencing the wonderful treasures that you have as the national heritage of the UAE. This is just one example of how technology is revolutionising the work of archives and records management. And this is the game changer in our profession around the world. So we have to be doing that, advancing that as far as we can. And the third objective is what we're doing in building the capacity of archives, the profession around the world. And in there we're looking at improving the sharing of knowledge, resources, advice, assistance in the areas of preservation, including digital preservation, good governance, digital record keeping, how to adopt practices around digital, and of course providing access, always to provide access, because the only reason we preserve is to make records accessible. A key part of what we're doing at the moment with capacity building is a focus on Africa. We recognise that so many nations within Africa are under-resourced and have not enough capacity, utility to do their work. And so currently we have a particular strategy to assist our African colleagues to build up their capacity to better serve their people, to participate in the emerging Africa movement. So these are very important. And of course, very important that we have major events like the ICA Congress to enable that sort of sharing of information to occur. Another going into how we influence it, how we reposition archives is essential. I just want to use just a few examples to demonstrate how relevant this is, how important this is, and how urgent this is, that we are active participants in the ICA community. And the first one is the United Nations, the Sustainable Development Goals. Now this is the United Nations has arrived at these goals as a way of saying this is the way that humanity can secure a peaceful, prosperous, rewarding coexistence across the world. This is the peak goal that we all face of humanity. So what are we doing in our profession? Where is our part to play? What should we be doing to contribute to this? Well, there are two goals in particular, 16 and 17. Goal 16 is around peace, justice, and strong institutions. And if you drill down to what the United Nations has said to achieve that, is within that we have to develop accountable, transparent institutions at all levels. Now that happens through good records, that happens through good information management, that happens through proper stewardship of the information in our care. That's our patch, that's our expertise, that's our job, that's our vocation. Also, public access to information. Well, it's the business we're in. We are in the access business. We are always searching for more creative, enjoyable, and engaging ways to let people connect with the records that we hold. Very important. We get active in Goal 16. Also, Goal 17, partnerships. In here, that the goal is focusing on governments need reliable data. How can a government have a program, a public policy, a public program, if it doesn't have data on its own people? What the people need, where they live, what is their age, what is their income, all of these things. What languages do they speak? These come from the records that we collect within government agencies and we put at the disposition of our governments to develop and deliver better service. Very important. So we are very relevant to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. Abdullah has mentioned UNESCO Memory of the World program. This is so very, very important as we work hard to achieve the very best value that we can in preserving the documentary heritage of mankind and to make it available to the people. And you'll see there that the Director General of UNESCO, Irina Bokova, appointed Dr. Abdullah as the President of the International Advisory Committee for the UNESCO Memory of the World, to make sure that we are facing the digital challenge, the digital agenda, and we are globalising our use and our stewardship of documentary heritage to make sure that it's preserved and placed at the disposition of all people. Very important part to play, and again is already here in the centre, in Abu Dhabi, right here in the UAE. And this is a very important partnership for ICA, so we are very much playing our part in that. Persist is another one Dr. Abdullah just mentioned a moment ago. So much of today's documentary heritage is not created on paper. It's created digitally. It's created in our smartphones. It's created on Facebook. It's created in Twitter. It's created on websites, in blogs. Well, what are we doing? What are we doing to service the needs of the future generations? As archivists, our job is to pass memory from one generation to the next. Today's memories are being created in digital, and yet there's no global effort to really secure and preserve the very ethereal, intangible digital cultural heritage that's being created today. This is a vitally important initiative, and one which is being led by the UNESCO Persist program under the leadership of Dr. Abdullah, and one which is being accomplished with the partnership of ICA. It will promote dialogue between heritage institutions, between the governments and the IT industry to achieve this. It will be looking at how we select the very best content in the digital world, in the webosphere, in the blogosphere, in the Twitterverse. All of these places we have to, this is the collection points for the digital archivist of the future, and that's our job today. It will also be looking at the policies. How do we set the right policies around appraising and selecting digital material and achieving the best preservation and long-term access of born digital material? And finally, how are we going to achieve this in a technological sense? What software platforms, hardware platforms will we be constructing to enable this digital memory to be carried from our generation to the next and the next and the generation after that? These are the challenges of the 21st century. These are the challenges that will bring the world to Abu Dhabi in 2020 to talk about. It is all going to be happening here. These are the major challenges that we face for the future. And what I want to do is finish up here and say, just come back to this point. So these are the global changes which are going on around us. And we can't be sitting in our office, behind our desk, in our archive, in our stacks, with our digital discovery tools, etc. We can't just think about ourselves in that small world. We have to think about ourselves as active members of the global community, making a change, making a difference. Because around the world right now, humanity are facing so many challenges around, the big data, all this data which is being accumulated. Is it going to be used for good purposes? Will it be misused, misrepresented? What about the whole issue around cyber threats? The vulnerability of this information. And so it goes on. We're moving governments into e-government, into digital. We're using our whole economy is going to digital. And of course, we're moving into an information society where the degree to which any one of us can enjoy all the benefits of our communities and of our culture and our society, the degree to which we can enjoy those benefits depends on the information that we can access. Now, this is our job. This is where we need to step forward into these global issues and make sure that we are playing our part to build a better world in the 21st century, the information society of the 21st century. And so for all of these reasons, it is just so important that the ICA and the archives and the records management community around the world get together and make sure that we are stepping up to the challenge and making sure we are playing our part to get on top of this. And this is why the ICA Congress is coming here to Abu Dhabi in 2020. This is why we're coming to the centre of expertise in records management, archives management, information management. This is why we're coming here to this city in this country which has shown the world how the records and the archives of a nation can be digitised, can be put at the fingertips of every citizen, so every citizen feels like they own their cultural heritage, where every citizen can feel a part of the nation that they live in, and every citizen can participate in their community and society and feel like they are fulfilled, enriched, active, constructive and valued citizens. And so that's why I'm so proud, Dr. Abdullah, to be coming to this organisation, which incidentally has just been awarded not 1, not 2, not 4 stars from the European Federation of Quality Management, but 5 stars, a perfect score in quality management. I've just seen up there 5 big golden stars outside your office. For all of these reasons, this is where we must be in 2020, to come together and talk about these major issues that we need to confront if we're going to enjoy all the benefits of the future. So Dr. Abdullah, can I congratulate you on your leadership, on your strategic thinking and your vision in hosting the ICA Congress in 2020. And may I say how excited I am and the whole international community is at the prospect of gathering here in Abu Dhabi in 2020 to face the future. Thank you so much.
A walk through the National Archives is a walk in the footsteps of the UAE's proud journey, from ancient forts to eye-catching architecture, from welcoming sea merchants to welcoming the world, from a wealth of oil to a wealth of knowledge, from early visionaries to ambitious new leaders. With presidential archives and high-tech digital archives, our history comes alive. Abu Dhabi has evolved from being our nation's capital to a global capital of arts and culture, capital of travel and hospitality, capital of research and academia, capital of natural beauty and wilderness, capital of media and communications, capital of leisure and entertainment, capital of networking and events. Abu Dhabi has risen to become a global capital of culture, the gateway where East meets West, past meets future, and visionaries bring the impossible to life. In 2020, our great city will not only share our memories with the world, but also bring the world to create unforgettable new memories. From preserving history with international thought leaders at ICA 2020, to making history with innovations at World Expo 2020. Abu Dhabi invites you to experience this once-in-a-lifetime celebration that will be guided by vision, inspired by memory. Let's build the future together. We hope to see you at the ICA Congress 2020 in the United Arab Emirates.
We would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Raisi for his valuable speech and Mr. David Fricker for his important remarks. May I invite Mr. David and His Excellency Dr. Abdullah to come up on stage to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. We would like to express our sincere thanks to Mr. David Fricker and His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Mohammed Al-Raisi. We hope that the stated objectives of this MOU will be achieved and trust that further fruitful cooperation will take place. Now, we would like to invite you all to participate in hosting the ICA flag in front of the main gate of the building. Thank you.